Right guys, welcome back to another video, and today let's talk about some football. Just before I start this video, if you can't tell, sorry my microphone just fell down. If you can't tell, I am very ill right now. I've actually had like 3 nosebleeds this morning. It's not a very fun time for me. So, I'm going to be trying getting through this video and trying to do my best. Basically in this video we're going to review all of the Premier League games. I'm going to leave the Liverpool Man United one till later. I'll add that in just before I post the video just to make sure I do get it in. The main reason is because I want to get this up as soon as the game finishes, so it's kind of still up to date and relevant in some way whatsoever. But anyway, let's just get into the video and review the games from the Premier League this week. It wasn't a good one for me, I'm going to be honest with you. I've not even looked at my fantasy Premier League team this week. It's awful. Like, it's genuinely one of the worst I think I've ever seen this week. It's genuinely dreadful. But let's not talk about that, that's for another video. Let's talk about the first game, which is Spurs versus Wolves. Where I said it would be 2-0 Spurs, and it was actually 1-0 Spurs, and Harry Kane got the only goal. Spurs played really well, but so did Wolves in the first half. Wolves played very well and kept Spurs at bay for most of the game. It's just kind of inevitable when you've got the quality of Harry Kane in the team that you're going to score a goal. And the way Wolves cannot score a goal whatsoever means that it was quite inevitable that it was going to be a game where Spurs would win. I thought it'd be 2-0 because I was hoping Harry Kane might do a little bit more, maybe get 2 goals for me please, that would have been nice. But at the end of the day, it was a quite comfortable win in the end for Spurs. As soon as they got that first goal, they didn't really ever feel in like any type of jeopardy in that situation, so it was a good win for Spurs. But Wolves really struggling to score a goal still. Next, moving on to the next game, I said it would be 2-1 Palace, and it was 3-1 Palace versus Aston Villa actually. There was so many bad calls in this game, I'm going to be honest. Like, that offside was ridiculous. Like, yeah, it was in the same phase of play, I get that. But the person that scored the goal wasn't offside. Like, there was an offside in the situation, which just doesn't make sense why you could rule a goal out for that. And I just think some of the offside calls are getting a bit ridiculous now, and some of the calls that are being made, like that Digne handball as well, was absolutely ridiculous. Like, honestly, one of the worst calls I've seen. Like, what is he meant to do in that situation? He's jumping up, he's throwing his arms up so he can jump high enough, and then you're saying he can't even do that. How's he meant to compete with the striker? Or anyone really, if he has to jump without his arms, because that's what gives you momentum while you're jumping. I don't know if you know, but when you swing your arms up, you get more momentum jumping, and that's what helps you jump up and get as high as you can to challenge for that ball. And them saying that that's a handball and giving a penalty for that just makes the game so redundant, like so redundant when that happens. And it's really not good calls in this game, and I wasn't happy with any of the calls that were really made within this game whatsoever. It was a really bad game for the referees and the VAR, and I wasn't impressed whatsoever with the decisions that were in the game. Moving on to Everton versus Forest, I said it would be a 0-0. It was a 1-1. I'm surprised Everton scored, to be fair. But I really appreciate Forest scoring. I didn't think either team would have the capability to score in this game, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought both defences were quite poor, but at the same time, the attacking outlet for both teams wasn't great. I got the kind of result right. It was a draw, but yeah, I didn't expect not Tottenham. I didn't expect Nottingham Forest to score a goal or Everton to score a goal, but they did, and fair play to them. Everton got their first point, I think it is now, level on points with Leicester City. Well done, lads. Moving on, we go to Fulham versus Brentford. This one was ridiculous, man. What is going on in this game? Fulham, what are you doing? Brentford, what are you doing? Like, firstly, Brentford going 2-0 down is disgraceful. I was like 1-0 Brentford. That's what I said the result would be, was 1-0 Brentford. It clearly wasn't. It definitely wasn't whatsoever. But like, going 2-0 up and then like losing that 2-0 lead back to 2-2 and then scoring again. It was just a mad game, and one of the best games of the weekend in my opinion. A really good game. And fair play to Fulham. Fair play, lads. You're proving me wrong. And if you stay up, fair play. I respect it. You're doing really well. And I really appreciate what you're doing. Oh my god, I've just seen what the next game is. Right, so the next game is Leicester City. I said it'd be 3-1 to Leicester. It wasn't. It was 2-1 to Southampton. Fofana didn't play. Fofana was just there. He was in the stadium at least. Is that good? Tielemans didn't start. Is that good? Amati started. That definitely isn't good. I was horrified by what happened, man. How can you play so good for 55 minutes and then just be dreadful for the rest? Like, absolutely dreadful. And the guy that's from Leicester, Che Adams, putting his fingers to his ears, like cupping his ears to the fans. Fair play, lads. Fair play. He played really well and changed the game. He literally dominated the Leicester team, like absolutely destroyed them. And fair play to that substitution. Great substitutions there by the Southampton manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl. But Leicester, man, I can't be bothered, man. Just stop. Just win a game. We're genuinely third from bottom, and we could end up being second from bottom after this week. This is relegation sort of stuff, man. Really bad. Really, really bad at this point. Next, we move on to Arsenal versus Bournemouth. This is kind of what I said it would be. I thought it'd be quite easy for Arsenal. Didn't think they'd score 2 early goals like they did. It could have actually been 4-0 as well. But 3-0 to Arsenal. I said 2-0. Bournemouth don't have anything like whatsoever. They are really poor, and they didn't have an answer to what Brentford was. Not Brentford. They didn't really have an answer to what Arsenal was giving them, and it was just Arsenal score as many goals as they want, essentially. But fair play to Arsenal, top of the league. I think you are now. Yeah, top of the league, easily, on points as well. Fair play to Arsenal. You're not going to win it, lads, but you might get top 4. I respect you that. You haven't had a hard game yet. I'm going to be honest with you. There's been no hard games that you've had. That's just the facts of the matter. Moving on to the worst game of the week. What is going on with Chelsea, man? How can you draw with 2-2 with Spurs and then lose 3-0 to Leeds? How, man? I predicted for this one. I was like, yeah, 2-1 Chelsea, because I thought Leeds, they're defensively not very good, but then Leeds get a clean sheet. How does that happen? How does a Leeds team this poor get, like, just doesn't like even concede 1 goal? I don't understand how Chelsea were that bad in this game. Like, it's a disgrace, that is. I'm not being funny, that is a disgrace. It's really bad, really bad. But I just think it's horrible. That is Chelsea. That is not good for you lot. Moving on to West Ham versus Brighton. This is one that I had to add in at the end because I forgot about it completely. I said West Ham would win 1-0. Brighton won 2-0. Fair play, Brighton. Proving me wrong again. I didn't think Brighton were that good. West Ham, bottom of the table. I don't know what's going on there. They've had a few hard games, but a few easy games, which they should have probably won. Lost against Nottingham Forest, newly promoted team. Lost against Man City, fair enough. And lost against Brighton now. Brighton are a good team, but they've lost 2 of their best players this season. It's not a great look for West Ham. And their players just aren't performing to the way they should be, even though they're making these signings, for example, that a Leicester isn't, which is a bit worrying for West Ham. Even though they have played the hardest team in the league, it's not as bad as some people are making it out, let me say that. Then, we move on to Newcastle versus Manchester City. Now, I just want to play the clip where I say that Man City, I can't see when they're going to concede a goal. Because this is hilarious. Then they concede 3 goals in one game to a Newcastle team that shouldn't have scored 3 goals against them. They were lucky to get a point. I'm being real with you. They were very lucky to get a point. And Man City, what are you doing, lads? Like, what are you doing? You're letting Arsenal be top of the table. That's crazy. Like, fair play to Newcastle. Very well done to them lot. Man City, man, you're ruining my life. These predictions were awful because of you. I'm not being funny. Really bad play. Oh, when's Man City going to concede a goal? This game, they conceded 3. Fair play, lads.
So Manchester United have just beaten Liverpool 2-1. Now, I'm recording this at I don't even know what time it is. But I just wanted to add this in so I could talk about it quickly. It's going to be a 30-second thing pretty much. But essentially, right, Manchester United have beaten Liverpool. They've actually done it. They've actually gone above Liverpool in the table. I think Liverpool now are 16th in the table or something after 3 games, which isn't very good whatsoever. Like, for Liverpool, that is not a good start. Not what they would have wanted, whatsoever. A lot of it's down to fitness, in my opinion, and the availability of players. Núñez not being there is a big loss. Thiago not playing is another big loss. Matip not playing, I don't think he played as well. Big loss. They've got a lot of big losses, and it feels like a bit like Liverpool are the one in crisis. Manchester United played really well, and he switched the team up so much. Not playing Harry Maguire and not playing Ronaldo, that is a massive shout. Fair play to the manager, Erik ten Hag, for doing that. I really respect it. And challenging the squad and making the team his own, not just fall into the players like Ronaldo and Maguire, which a lot of managers like Ollie would have done, just fall into the like star players and the most expensive players, which I really do respect from the manager. But it's poor from Liverpool, like really poor. And we need to see if Liverpool are going to improve. 2 points from 3 games is not good enough for a team that should be like at least come in second in this league. It's not looking good for Liverpool.
Right, guys, that is the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. This was a very poor week for me, predictions wise. I got a few like results, like wins, draws, losses, but no right results. It's very poor by me, very poor. We move. We'll get better next week, I promise.